Just going to be us. Do you know who's joining?
No.
Okay, messages by the way here.
Okay, so I'm aware.
Because it's got to wait for his tea.
Hi, Marni.
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Looking good. This is like early Cookalong look, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very much so. And where are you? Are you at your mum's and dad?
I am. I'm in the next room. I'm in the next room, and I've set my mum up, and you can see her in everything.
Hi, Bobby, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you. I don't know how many people you're going to have tonight.
Oh, I
Don't worry about that, Mum.
Next week, yeah, but I'm sure there's plenty watching on Facebook. That is amazing, really, yeah. And yeah, it's going to be fun. I'm a bit hungry though, so I'm looking forward to it.
Terry's hungry.
Are you going to be cooking with us?
Yeah, I am. Terry, but we're eating later, so he's watching telly at the moment.
Me too. I'm the same. I'm like, but I don't know how long is this soup going to cook, because soup usually take at least half an hour or 45 minutes, isn't it?
Well, looking at it, you just put it in all in a pan and leave it.
Yes, I just think, all right, so what are we going to talk in between?
That's true, actually. How much? There's not much like preparation. And we're not waiting an hour and a half for it to cook.
You can leave it overnight, it says as well, in a slow cooker.
All right, I think it looks like Terry's going to get takeaway tonight then, if you have to leave it overnight.
He's already started eating. He's already had some toast.
Well, that's it. That is the best way, you say. So does it mean that you're going to have tea at your mom then, dinner at your mom then?
Yeah, looks like it. And then hopefully I'll have some soup to take home.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah, I forgot to get the bacon though, but I'm sure it'll be fine, isn't it?
All right, you're not doing bacon. You got anything? Any tofu?
We haven't got any celery. We haven't got any celery, so I'm using cabbage instead.
I think this soup is very much whatever left over.
We've got everything.
Yeah, are you going to have it with some toast?
I think I'm live on every platform, ready to go. It's very exciting.
Oh, really? Oh my God! All we need is just Chrissie to come on.
Well, Chrissie's here, but she's got no microphone. And hang on. She's got like this one. Oh. No, cancel. Your keyboard's a bit sticky, Mum. Nearly removed Chrissie then.
Oh, look at that. Look at all the preparation.
Good piece of gammon, isn't it?
Oh, look at that one. She's going to use bouillon veg as well. You wanted to use that, didn't you?
Yeah. Oh, and she's got a stock meat already.
Yeah, is that pancetta or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is pancetta.
What, you think that's pancetta on the board? Or not bread?
Peppers, stock, tomato, and she's got vegetable bouillon. You didn't want that, Nick.
Well, I thought you've got a vegetable bouillon pot, haven't you?
Yeah, that's what's there, isn't it? That Christine's got.
Well, I mean, like the little pot that you're going to use instead.
No, you wanted the chicken stock cube, didn't you?
Oh, I thought we were using one of those funky little new things where they make the little pot in the stock and then it's concentrate.
Yes.
I bet Marni's using chicken stock.
Yeah, I use the real chicken stock that I freeze it.
We've got real chicken.
No way.
Yeah, but I have only 500 mils, so
it's small.
But I presume any chicken stock tube or that chicken stock pot will do. To be honest.
As I say, very small chicken.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I think this is very easy and simple dish really. So looking forward to it.
Totes.
I'm hungry anyway.
Sorry, I've got to remember to stand in front, haven't I? Over there.
You know what, Nick? The signal is looking good at Terry and Bobby. It's good signal, really.
Yeah, that's looking good, Marni.
Touch wood.
Thank you. I just washed my hair.
Why have we got two pictures of you, Nick?
Well, do you want me to turn one
Look
off?
at you, Nick. Hey, you and me.
Yeah, it makes it feel like the six of us, doesn't it? You doing all right, Chrissie?
Are you making soup?
Bobby, are you making soup?
Bobby, I'm making soup.
Excellent.
Nick's going to take it home.
Soup.
Yeah, we've got it all ready.
Great.
Oh, did you see?
I think we have a little bit of costume malfunction there.
Pull your jeans up, Nick.
Oh, sorry.
Nick. Good job.
Honestly. Can't get away with anything, can you?
I was last week.
Right.
We don't want any more comments, don't we?
Actually, I should keep them open, Marni. You're right. I'll keep an eye on them. You think that was your doing last week, was it, Chrissie?
I've got sensible clothes on this week.
Keep the boobs hidden.
I've got my vest on.
My God, next time I have to wear like jumper and coat while I'm cooking.
You make a meringue and you turn your oven on.
Oh, should I get my dressing gown?
How do you find like a live thing on this?
They'll enjoy looking at you, Marni, because you're young and pretty, so it'll be fine. Go for it. Make the most of it. Don't laugh.
That is so untrue. And you know what? Sandy said next time. Sandy talking about, the lady, mature lady at 30 age. And then Sandy said, oh, not you, Marni. I just like, gosh, I'm super old, Sandy,
You're the young thing, Marni.
Oh, thank you.
Isn't there a danger we're becoming loose women, though?
It's not loose, but I don't know loose
Are
or
we
not loose.
Yeah, is that what's happening?
Oh, no, it's when I go past, I start looking at
Went that way
the
on Saturday.
What's that, Chrissie?
Yeah.
We went loose women on Saturday.
You know, when you hit 50, nobody looks at you anymore.
Geoff said we're more like dinner ladies than loose women.
Anyway, so Chrissie, we shopping the veg and then we just put everything in the pot. And how long
can you
do
see?
we have to
Can you see my camera here?
Yes.
So basically, what I've done is I got my pancetta, but
Sorry, it's me.
I buy it in a big piece.
Ooh, that is big.
It smells amazing. It smokes, you know.
Oh.
It is big. I only need half that. But what I thought I'd do, I sort of peel my onion, I peel my carrot. I haven't peeled my potato yet because I don't want it going brown. But I thought, you know, it's quite quick to do. It's quite quick to do. But obviously the cooking part of it's quite a long cook because the long cooking brings out all the flavours, you know, that sort of like slow cook thing. If anybody has got an Arga or a slow cooker, that's perfect. But you know, when we start it off with the meat and the onions, that'll be the time to start those flavours coming, and then it'll be the slow cooking that makes it. So Geoff got all excited and thought he was having everything soup for dinner tonight, but I said no, it's tomorrow night.
Oh.
So it won't.
So do I have to go to McDonald's today then, and I wait for the soup tomorrow?
McDonald's, Marni? You should be able to throw something gorgeous and tidy together very quickly.
Anyway, are we live yet?
Actually, it's a minute, but I wanted to get all the feeds up so I could keep an eye. Oh, I've muted myself.
Oh, is he there? Nick.
Yeah, I just muted myself because I was trying to get the feeds up, and then I realised as soon as I opened one, then it started feeding back through everything. It's very complicated.
That's a pain. So are we on the Facebook, Instagram and YouTube then, Nick?
I'm going to put the window live now. If you wanted to go for it, I see it's 7 o'clock, isn't it? So.
Okay, let's do it. Hi everyone, welcome to Great British Food Festival Cookalong Live. I'm so happy I'm back. I feel like I'm back home again. And thank you so much everyone to joining us today. We are on 4 platforms today: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Zoom. By the way, for the past few weeks, we had a little bit of technical glitch. So today I would like to do a little bit of sound check. If you can hear me on Facebook, please click, please press the thumb up. Give me the thumb up, please. Or if you can see me, press the love heart for me. If you're on YouTube, please do the same. We just want to check a little bit if the sound's okay, if you can see me okay. Okay then, today is midweek. And obviously, I don't like to do anything that gives too much of an effort. So we have a very special lady today. She has been doing, she has been posting for a couple of months now. And I'm so pleased that today Chrissie stepped up and become our leader, and she will share out her special recipe to us. So, hi Chrissie.
Hello, welcome everybody.
Oh, we have switched the chair today, don't we?
Exactly, yes.
And are you on gin again?
Do you know what? This is making me look really bad, but I actually Oh, I like to have a gin when I'm doing this. I do like my gin, but I don't have one every night. But I definitely have one on a Saturday when we do our Zoom cook-alongs, and I certainly have one at 7 o'clock on a Wednesday.
You know what? Yes, why not? I haven't got any. I feel so inadequate and very sober today. But I might go out while I'm waiting for the soup to be cooked. So what are we cooking today? What is the name of this soup?
Well, this is, the wonderful thing about soups is you can just throw anything in them, can't you? So you can make soups, all things. And it's the first thing I taught my daughters, especially when my elder daughter went to university, that no matter what, food-wise, you can always make a good soup, oil or butter and some onions and then whatever you fancy and stock. So this is sort of a family staple, this one, and we cook it a lot in autumn and in winter because it's a really hearty soup. And we just call it everything soup because we just used to throw everything into it. But it's got three, I think, important ingredients that really give it that certain flavour, and we'll go through that.
Oh yes, that sounds lovely.
So do you know what? It's a very, very tasty soup, and everyone loves it. And if it starts getting a bit, because it's quite chunky, it's almost like a stew. But anyway, should we get started? So what we've got, what I tend to put in it is, if you can see here, this pancetta.
Whoa.
So I used to get the end, from the butchers, I used to get the end of this smoked bacon, when they get it in a huge piece. And I would say, can I have the sort of knobby end with all the flavouring in it, where it's been hung? And they used to give me a great big chunk of it. And something like pancetta will keep quite a while in your fridge. But what I do is I chop it up, and I put it in portions and I freeze it, because it's always great to have those little things in your freezer that you can get out, for all your different dishes. It's great if you're making a stew or anything like that. I mean, my husband likes his meat, so if I'm doing a beef stew or venison or anything, chicken, the pancetta goes in as well. So I've actually got this big piece here, and I don't need all this. I've got about 500 grams here, so I'm going to cut it in half, and I'm going to leave the other half. And I will chop that up, and I will freeze that to use in another dish. So I'll so it can be freeze. It'll get.
That is a very healthy chunk there, Chrissie.
Well, do you know what? You can. It's not always easy to get hold of chunks like this. You can buy the pancettas, and you can buy them in little box, can't you, in supermarkets, and they're tiny little bits. But I think it's quite nice to have that, these big chunks. So I really do. I cut them, I would say over a centimetre, more than a centimetre. So just the thing about this is it's all chunky pieces, all the veg, the meat. I'm going to cut this in half again, because then it will be about a centimetre thick. And so then I can just chop it into pieces. You can see what it's like with these.
So does that render down a bit then, Chrissie?
Pardon?
Does that render down a bit? Obviously the fat softens.
A little bit, it does. But what we're going to do is, in fact, I haven't even turned my cooker on, my ring on. So now it's on. And what we will do, I think in the recipe I said to saute the onions with the meat, but I think what we'll do is we'll put some oil in our pan, and I use a big cast iron pan, because I just think that's great for how it distributes the heat. And it's brilliant for using if you're slow cooking or braising something. It's a great conductor of that, nice heat to get the flavours out. So I've got my cast iron pan, enamel pan, And I've just got about just over a tablespoon of oil, and I'm just going to use some sunflower oil today. The thing is with oils, I'm a big fan of olive oil. And then a friend of mine worried me the other day saying that you should not really use virgin olive oil cooking on a high heat because it can alter the chemistry of it really and have can be carcinogenic. But I use olive oil a lot. But you know, that's virgin olive oil. You know, when you get the other olive oils, it's fine to cook with. It's just the virgin olive oil they're different beasts, I think. And what they do find actually in the positive thing about olive oil, I know there's been a lot of research into health and the heart, and people who have had heart problems have actually benefited from a tablespoon of raw, cold virgin olive oil every day, just 1 tablespoon. So whether you're using that in a dressing or however you want to take it, or with some balsamic and some bread, but olive oil is brilliant. But today we've got the sunflower oil, which is high in vitamin E, so it's a good one. So we're going to get the heat going a bit.
So before we
got the bacon lardons from the small ones.
Yeah, and that's great, Bobby. That's fine to use those. I would highly recommend that, if you do this again, try to get some nice big chunk of smoked bacon, or, a lot of butchers now have it brought in already sliced, don't they? But if you've got a good butcher near you, where you can get a piece of smoked bacon, streaky bacon or whatever that is, or some pancetta, do try to get some, because the flavours are quite intense. It's a very, very good flavour. So put in. I don't think I'm quite hot enough because I was so busy talking. Which is new. So busy talking, I hadn't had my heat on. But
so,
anyway,
Chrissie, it looks like Marni is going meat-free. Are you
going meat-free, Marni? That was something I would say, Marni. What have you got?
I haven't got anything. I forgot to buy it. So
have you not got your umami?
Yeah, I feel like a bad student that haven't followed the rules properly.
You'll have to see me after class, Marni.
Am I going to get PT?
Have you not got it today?
Pardon?
Have you got your umami today? You had a jar.
I have yeast. Yeah, I have yeast extract. Yeah, so to put that on. I got tuna.
Tuna?
I don't think it's gonna work, isn't it?
No, we don't want tuna, Marni. You've got your umami. Use that because that's got a really lovely flavour.
I will do. So at this moment in time, should I put the onion in now?
Just putting our meat in first. So have you got no meat?
I will wait for you.
If you're not using meat, put your onions in and put them in. See, I've got this quite high for my meat. But if you're not using meat, put your onions in. You can chop your onions, and I'm going to chop my onion now. And what I like to do, usually I would do lots of slices, really thick and chunky, and they're the sizes we're looking at. Everything in this is nice and chunky and wholesome.
Yeah, that is lovely.
I've got quite a nice sized onion, and there you go. That's just all you're going to do with your onion. And this is quite high, as you can see, so I'm just going to turn it down a bit. And can you see it's starting to brown?
Yes, it is.
It's a little bit.
Yep, I can hear it whistling as well. And I wish I have pancetta now because it looks really good. Your pancetta, and it's great, isn't it? You can put in spaghetti. Make it as a base for carbonara. You know what is good for Thai people? We like to make this and stir fry with like a love heart cabbage. Is that what they call it? It's very good. Yeah. So
I don't know if you can see this pancetta. It's quite a fatty meat. And that, I think, a lot of people now, a lot of meat eaters now, have forgotten how important the fat in your meat is for flavour. It's like a lot of steaks you see in supermarkets are very, it's just meat, it's just red, and you need that marbling, that fat in there to give you the flavour. And, if you're worrying about the fat content of things like that, then, pour a bit, as you cook it, it will render down a bit, and you can pour that off. But actually, I think you're better eating less of it, less meat, but having a good flavoured meat, really.
Exactly.
There are places you can, I would say use your local butcher, but there are supermarkets that do very reasonably priced meat, but you want a good meat.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm turn this down now because I've had it quite high for my, and there's quite. Can you see? There's quite a lot of fat in there now from the bacon. So I'm going to put the onion in now, and I have turned the heat down a little bit.
Going onion.
You keep it up, Bobby.
My pieces are a bit small, I think. A lot smaller, but never mind.
The thing is with this soup, Bobby, is this is like one of the family favourite soups in the winter, and it is sort of like a stew, but some people don't like chunky soup at all. They like a pureed, smooth soup, and it is down to the individual taste, really, on how you like your soup. The thing is with soups, there's no hard and fast rule, is there?
No, not really. You can go freestyling a little. Bobby, what did you want to say?
I said, Nick's taking his home tonight. This one home.
Who is he?
Nick.
I am. So what ingredients?
Oh, you are.
So, Chrissie, what's the ingredients that we normally put into this then? Just run us through it.
So the ingredients I use when I do this soup, it's always a base of, every soup has a base of onions, but this one has the base of onions and the pancetta. And then we're going to add a large potato, a carrot, a celery stick, and then I've gone for 4 different patterns, only because they weren't very big. But I was saying about the 3 flavours in this soup that make this soup give it its particular flavour. And the 3 things are the pancetta, a green pepper. Having the green pepper in alters the flavour quite significantly, I think, and tin tomatoes. So we're going to add all this veg. I'm going to cut it quite chunky. And we're going to put a tin of tomatoes in there, and then we're going to add a litre of stock, and that is really all it is, and it's a very easy soup. And with all soups, everybody can make soup. You can just saute some onions, stick some veg in, and it's great if you've got veg that's looking a little bit sad in your fridge, and you can bung it all in, put some stock in, some seasoning, cook it all up. And you can either leave it chunky or you can puree it and add a bit of cream or something. It's really good and hearty and an easy meal and a cheap meal. Generally, a soup can be anything you want it to be. So I think it's a wonderful meal to have.
You've made a few soups in your time, haven't you, Mum?
Pardon?
You used to like making soup quite a lot, I remember.
Yes, I like doing soups.
Would you do a lot of the onion first and then the pancetta? Or?
I just sort of make them up with whatever's in the house.
And that's the joy of it, isn't it, Bobby?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did this afternoon, really. I just stood in front of the fridge and say, what can I put in this soup? What can I get rid of? And it's quite satisfying, because it means that I don't like leftover. So this is good. This is type of food that I really like.
This is smelling quite good at the moment.
It smells absolutely amazing in this kitchen. So, can you see, there's a lot of steam, I'm afraid, so I hope you can see that everything in this pan now is getting a really, you see the colour of the meat is lovely and caramelised now, and I've got my onions in there. So the thing I'm going to put in next is I didn't peel my potato because I don't like it when they go a bit brown, when they're oxidised. So I'm just going to do my potato now, and what we'll do is we will start to add all our veg and give it a good coating in that fat that's come out of the pancetta, and obviously the oil. You're feeling a bit cold or you're feeling a bit low, you think, and also if you're lucky enough to have an Arga or a slow cooker. Lots of people have slow cookers, and this is something that you could prepare the evening before you go to bed. And when you get up in the morning, having your breakfast before you go to work, you can switch your slow cooker on with everything in it all ready to go. And Bob's your uncle. When you come in through the door, your dinner will be ready, and you'll have a lovely soup to come home to. And so it's really, it's a great, handy thing to do in your slow cooker. Or I tend to put the timer on my cooker. I've got a timer, so it's programmed to switch on and switch yourself off again. And I do it in the morning before I go to work. I program it so that when I walk through the door at 6:30, there's dinner.
That's it. Life couldn't be easier, isn't it? So you just put the pepper in, Chrissie?
Yeah, I put everything in now. So I ended up with obviously my green pepper, but I also put a yellow pepper, an orange pepper, and a red pepper. So I've gone peppermint this time, but only because they're quite small. But you can try anything you want to try, really, and that's the joy of soup. You can just improvise.
Christine, I've got fresh cabbages. I couldn't get celery.
You've got what? Sorry.
Cabbage is my green.
Oh well, do you know what? Go for it. Yes.
I wasn't sure about the cabbage.
Chop it into chunks, into squares, and stick it in.
I've got it. I'll put it in and fry it.
I think cabbage and pancetta is a good combination. I'm sure it's
very lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
So first, I like to do some smoked bacon with chestnuts and things like that, and some cabbage or sprouts, all fried up. Well, they're meat eaters.
And look at the color; it's lovely color.
Isn't that pretty? It's like a pan of jewels, isn't it? Can you see how pretty it is? I just love it.
Yeah.
So there we go. Everything's had a good coating. So now you've got all your veg and your pancetta in there. We've put everything in now. So has everybody put everything in?
Yeah.
Yes, apart from
your chopped tomatoes. Because this is the other thing. This is one of the three that gives it that distinctive flavour. So I'm going to put my tin of chopped tomatoes in.
I was quite keen to use passata, Chrissie. I was quite keen to use passata, but my mum wasn't having it.
That's okay. Go.
I've got chopped
as well.
Chopped tomatoes are good one.
Have you got Bobby, or have you got pancetta? Not pancetta. What was it? Passata.
Passata.
Got chopped tomatoes.
Yeah, stick them in.
Look at this, and this soup, it kind of goes so well with this weather, because weather is kind of turned a little bit colder as well.
Yeah.
It has turned. Oh dear.
Are you okay?
No, it's just my iPad. So this went. it started. Jeffrey, can you help me with this iPad? Hold it. I might have to get my beautiful assistant just to hold it for me.
This is the beauty of it when you have assistants.
He's very useful. He gets me gin, or I don't know what happened there, but it started leaning forward. So anyway, he'll have to stay there. He'll have to hold it like the aerial on the telly. Oh, he's done it. Look, isn't he a star? Takes the gin, sorts out the iPad.
This is brilliant. As long as you feed Geoff, he will be happy to help, I'm sure.
Oh, he's always happy to help. So,
anyway,
there we go. Look at this, Marni. How's yours doing?
Mine is look like this. It's lovely. Yellow, orange, red, and green.
Yeah. If in fact, you probably could have done it before adding the tomatoes. But if you weren't having meat with this, you can buy jars. In fact, I've had a real problem finding you, Marni. And in fact, I think Holland and Barrett sell it in jars. But you can put a tablespoon of that or two in, according to your taste, to add a little bit of that flavour in it. So now it's all sorted, and all that's left to do is add your litre of stock. And I've got a vegetable stock here, but you can put chicken stock, whatever stock you fancy. I wouldn't use a beef stock. I would use a chicken stock or a vegetable stock with this soup. So that's going in.
Okay. Do I need to put ground black pepper, or is it?
At this point, I wouldn't add salt, because I think, especially if you're using pancetta, it's quite a salty meat, isn't it? But I'm going to add a good pinch of black pepper, or you can add white pepper, whatever you want. But, the thing is with seasoning, it's down to your individual taste, how much you want to season your soup. Like Alice in Wonderland, too much pepper in the soup in Alice in Wonderland, so just put what you fancy.
Okay, I will do. I might leave it until, after all the vegetables is cooked and ready to eat. And all
your vegetables are in, and then you add your stock, and that's looking really nice, Marni. So there's your soup uncooked. So what I tend to do now is I tend to bring it up to a bit of a boil. What do they say? Never boil. If you boil, you'll spoil. But I think this is more like a stew. So I'm going to bring it up so it gets quite hot. And then what I do, and if you do have an arga, what you tend to do is bring things up to a boil on the top. And then you put the lid on and you pop it in the slow cooker. So I would do this and then pop it in the slow cooker. If you're doing the preparation in the morning to go, you're going to go to work, or in the evening before, you can just fry your meat and onions and pop them in your slow cooker, chuck everything else on top, and it is a real chuck it all together sort of recipe. And then just put it on in the morning to cook during the day on a slow setting. So here we have our soup. We're going to get it.
So, Chrissie, are you cooking on an arga?
Pardon?
Are you cooking on an arga now?
No, I'm not cooking on an arga, but I learned to cook on an arga when I worked in the Cotswolds, and I cook on an arga at work as well. So they're sort of lovely things to have, but and I used to think I wanted one, but I don't think I do now, because they're just like a huge heater, aren't they, in your kitchen, and they do consume a lot of fuel. But there will be people out there that have argas, and they are a lovely thing to cook on and cook in.
So you worked with the Cotswolds, did you? I think you were a nanny down there, did you say?
I was a nanny in the Cotswolds. Well, I was a girl Friday really in the Cotswolds. I exercised hunters, I cooked, I helped with the children, I did all sorts of things. I had been working at the Inland Revenue, which was probably the most boring job in the entire world. So it was just a way of escaping from a boring office job. It wasn't me. So there you go.
So if I cook on the hob like this, after it's boiled, how long do I have to leave it, you think?
Well, what I do is I get it going on the hob. I get it really hot so it starts to simmer or boil, and then I turn it off. I put the lid on and I pop it in the oven at 150, and I cook it in the oven for about almost 2 hours. I mean, you can check it because obviously you don't want it to burn or anything around the outside, but the longer and the slower you cook it, the more